Hello and welcome to the weekly wind-up on KLTV. This is Dave Hodgson presenting the other side of the furore, which is what the proposed closure of Huddersfield Royal A&E department has become. Last week we featured those who are pressing for the A&E at Huddersfield to remain open. This week we welcome Dr. Steve Orton of the Clinical Commissioning Group, who is presenting the case for the closure. But first, what do you as the people of Kirklees have to say about it?
I've been told they're moving A&E to Halifax, which I'm totally against.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that actually. Well, I know there's a plan to shut it down, and I've seen a lot of like posters about and everything about there seems to be no one wants it to happen basically. There seems to be a lot of people rallying for it to stay open.
Yeah, I've heard that they're moving it to, is it Halifax or? Yeah, I've heard they're moving it to Halifax. I don't really know about the cuts or anything. The only thing I know is it's shutting down and moving elsewhere. I think it's going to be detrimental to the people that live here. Obviously, if you're in a serious accident or something in Huddersfield, it's going to take a while for them to get you to Halifax, especially if it's peak times, at 4 o'clock, 5 p.m.
I'm speaking on behalf of myself and the general public because I've been to the hospital in the past. I think they should keep it open. It's from what I've heard, they want to move it into Halifax, I've heard. And it's a bit far. Because Huddersfield is a big town, and without an accident, without an emergency up there, then how people's going to manage?
Dr. Ollerton, it's a done deal, isn't it? Let's face it. The decision has been taken at a higher level, hasn't it? And we don't stand a prayer.
I can tell you it's not a done deal at all. We only started our consultation this week, as you know, and we are now out in the communities talking to people about our proposals, which is exactly what they are. They are proposals at the moment. We want to hear what people have got to say about them, and we will take those views on board, and then but the final decision will not be taken until probably October time.
But even then, the money's got to be found to sort out the PFI mess that Halifax is in, hasn't it? And the rumour has it that this is a good and stealthy way to sort that out. Okay,
if I could say that we started this process about 2.5 years ago, myself on the Clinical Commissioning Group with Calderdale and the hospital doctors, and our primary concern was the quality of care in the hospitals, which was not as good as it should be. So we've designed the new clinical model where services will be, the acute services will be at Calderdale and the planned care at Huddersfield, because we wanted to get specialists together. We wanted to have consultants available 24 hours a day, and whereas at the moment they are split between the two sites. So we designed the service with that in mind. Of course, people are going to talk about the money because we have asked for an awful lot of money. I think it's £470 million worth of investment in our two hospitals over the next few years if these proposals go ahead. And that is a lot of money to be spending. But this is going to provide us a much higher quality care, and lives will be prevented from, people will be prevented from dying, and it will be a far better experience for people in our hospitals.
Hasn't answered the question though, has it? What is happening about the mess with the PFI and the big debt that there is for Halifax?
Okay, myself on the Clinical Commissioning Group, we're not responsible for signing the PFI deal.
So that's a cop-out, isn't it?
It was signed in the late 90s because at the time they needed a new hospital in Calderdale. I can tell you now, I don't mind admitting I think that was a poor decision at the time.
Thank you.
But we have to live with that decision, and we have to live with that debt. And that debt will be paid over a number of decades. Now, Halifax on its own and Huddersfield on its own, with the two hospitals, the towns that they represent, we actually don't need a hospital in each town to provide the full range of emergency care.
If I said A629 to you, how do you get the ambulances across? Would that change your mind?
We have considered the A629. I have sat in the bottleneck just like everybody else
you
has.
You sat still rather than moving. What's an ambulance, even with a flashing light, going to do if the traffic is absolutely blocked?
We have involved the ambulance in our discussions so
All
far.
three of them?
Yes, all three of them and many more. We have taken this into consideration. We know that there are going to be improvements to the A629 long before any hospital changes occur, and we understand that the dual carriageway will then go right the way through. Yes, it may still get blocked up, but we're confident that ambulances will get through and patients will get to a higher quality hospital when they get there.
How soon will it be after the consultation with the public before you start at least thinking we should amend this bit or we should amend that bit, even if it isn't the full, no, I'll tell you what, we better not close it?
I think we're talking years. I think we're talking between, we can't make any changes until the consultation has happened and the decisions have been made. But even if that's what happens, I think it'll be between 2 and 5 years when the changes actually start being implemented.
Yeah, I must apologise if I seem to be sort of jumping on you, but aren't you the fall guy that somebody above you is going to make the decision and you're being asked to actually fall on your sword, aren't you?
I couldn't disagree more. I am leading these proposals. I'm lead of our organisation. Myself and my GP colleagues have designed this. I'm a Huddersfield resident, I'm a Huddersfield GP, and yes, I'm sitting here having designed a system that's going to take the emergency services into Calderdale. But I still think that's only 5 miles away and we will get a better service because of it. So nobody above me is telling me to do this.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a moment with more questions about what happens if you just cut yourself or you've got a knee pain. Do you have to go to Halifax? Join us after the break to find the answers to those.
However large or small your business, attracting new customers requires dedication and a lot of patience. Just like fishing, but you also need the right gear. Rods,
reels, lines, hooks, sinkers, lures, tackle box, tackle bag, net, bait, gas gloves, clothes, pocket knife, roach.
Or you could simply advertise with KLTV. Online, grow your business and your clientele. KLTV, your vision made reality. Should have gone to KLTV.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We have Dr. Steve Orton with us and we are talking about the case for closure of Huddersfield A&E. But surely, Dr. Allerton, it can't possibly mean every injury, every sprained ankle has to go to Halifax. I mean, can you imagine if I cut an artery? I can walk and I can cover it up, but there's nothing but the 503 to take me to Halifax. How long is it going to take? And what are First Bus going to do about me bleeding all over their seats?
Okay. What you need to understand is we are planning an urgent care centre in Huddersfield on the Acre Mill site as it is at the moment. This urgent care centre will have x-ray facilities, it will have emergency care practitioners, they will be able to sew up your arm, they will be able to diagnose your broken wrist.
It's a minor injuries unit, yes?
It's going to be a lot more than a minor injuries unit.
How much more?
It's going to be more than a minor injuries unit. It will have doctors there. It will be able to see people with infections, people who it won't be not people who need to be admitted to hospital, but We reckon somewhere between 50 and 60% of the people who currently attend A&E will be quite comfortably dealt with at the urgent care centre.
Mm-hmm. So finally, to sum it all up and to give you a chance to tell us what exactly the consultations are that have just started, how do they work?
The public consultation is a statutory, mechanism that we have to go through if we're proposing significant change, which I'm sure you'll appreciate. This is significant change. We have to consult with the public for at least 12 weeks, and actually we're going to be doing it for 14 weeks in response to the overview and scrutiny panel who asked us to do that. During that consultation, we have to run information events, we have to run public events where people can come and ask questions.
These are all at different places throughout the area, are they?
We have currently on the plan 32 events, but I know that there's more coming in on a daily basis almost, when we're going to try and get to as many events as we can. And during this time we'll be handing out leaflets, we've got questionnaires, and we're very keen that people fill in these questionnaires. We've printed over 10,000 of them, so clearly we need a lot of people to be filling them in where they can get their opinions down, and we will then analyse all of that. And this will be during the summer. Once the consultation is closed, we'll analyse all the information that we get, and in conjunction with the local authority, the overview and scrutiny, they will also be scrutinising everything that we do to eventually get to decision point, as I say, probably in October time.
Do you ever wake up and feel, I've been handed a poisoned chalice here, I don't want to be shouted at, I don't want to be seen as the bad guy?
No, I don't at all, because I'm quite passionate about these changes. As I say, I design these changes, and I think they are better for the people of Huddersfield, so when they're ill, they will get to go to a better hospital than they currently have, and for those less severe problems, then they will still be dealt with at the urgent care centre. So I'm not the fall guy, I'm the one who's pushing this.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Allerton. Now, do remember that you can have your say on the topics discussed on this programme, or indeed any other programme on KLTV. If you would like to comment on any of these stories, please contact us on Twitter at The Weekly Windup and on Facebook, or you can email us at info@kirkleeslocaltv.com. This is Dave Hodgson signing up for Weekly Windup. Join us again on Wednesday when we'll be bringing you news of the St Patrick's Day Parade and Harold Wilson's 100th birthday anniversary. Look after yourself. Bye-bye from me and all the crew that bring this to you.